Joining me in the studio now is Dr. Amanda Avery, Postgraduate Admissions Director for the School of Biosciences. Welcome to you. So can you start by telling me about what the School of Biosciences at Nottingham offers in terms of the master's courses and why it's such a special place to study?
Yeah, so we offer a diversity of different postgraduate master's programmes within the School of Biosciences, which includes animal nutrition, biotechnology, clinical nutrition, food production management, nutritional sciences.
And what are some of the industry opportunities for students?
Yes, so all of our programmes are nicely linked with industry, and there's different opportunities. We embrace we collaborate really well with people within industry in that some will come as guest lecturers, some will offer perhaps research project titles, and some will actually pose as different problems that they want to have solved. So it could be that they're struggling, for example, with a particular product, and they want to see if our students can work through that problem and ensure that the production goes more smoothly, and that they're able to produce a product that is really fit for purpose. Or they could be challenging our students to try and invent a sustainable, innovative product that's new to the market. So, for example, our students within food production management work with Unilever, they work with Mars, they work with PepsiCo, so some really big names. So there's real diversity in terms of how industry support our students to further develop their skills.
And in terms of the school's research, how does that shape the learning experience for students?
So besides being an educator or facilitating the learning of our master's students, most of our lecturers are also very active in research. So they're passionate both about the teaching delivery and they're also passionate about their research. So for example, my own particular research is quite broad, looks at nutrition and health in its broadest context. In that I will have some research, ongoing research that looks at the management of childhood obesity, some that will be looking at the management or prevention and management of gestational diabetes, so women's health, particularly during pregnancy, and supporting international students in their research journey who might come from high income countries or also students who come from lower income countries where, for example, you might have the double burden of malnutrition, so where obesity, for example, coexists with stunting in children. So across all of the programmes that we offer, you've got that person who will facilitate the learning and also the person who is very active in research. So all of our teaching is research informed at Nottingham and within the School of Biosciences.
And you kind of touched on it there, but what is it about the University of Nottingham itself? Why should students choose to study this course here?
So we're very, very proud about, of the programmes we deliver. So you've got those people delivering the programmes that are really passionate, and I think that's very important because hopefully that comes across to the students. The School of Biosciences is actually at the Sutton Bonington campus, so a beautiful campus, very peaceful, very safe, very calm. All of our students have a personal tutor who will really ensure that not only can our students excel academically, but also that they're offered the appropriate pastoral support. Because, it's hard, particularly for international students who may not have studied in the UK previously, to suddenly come to a new country and to be studying an intense master's programme where they learn so much so quickly and develop so many wider, more broader skills. And to think, again, in terms of why are we special, we really do embrace the wider transferable skills that are required for our students to become very employable, and we are very proud that our graduates are so employable. So it's not just about acquiring additional knowledge, it's about being able to apply that knowledge into a range of different practical situations, and huge diversity. And you know, it's special because we have this wonderful global feel about our programs. You know, we've got a diversity of students from across the globe, and that really enriches the learning.
And finally, how do these courses, you know, the master's courses, help to launch a successful career for students who choose to study here?
Yes, so I've just briefly then touched on the transferability of skills. So we want our students to have knowledge, but also the ability to apply that knowledge to a range of different scenarios. That's so important to us. You know, we want our students to be able to present their knowledge verbally or in a written report to a very high standard, so that they do stand out, and you know, that they are able to work collaboratively within a team. So there's quite a lot of teamwork as well within the learning journey for our students. We want our students to be able to embrace that, so that they can work well as a team in whatever industry or setting that they go on to choose. Some of our students, actually quite a high proportion of our students, actually want to stay with us. They want to continue their learning and perhaps venture to doctoral level studies. So we have a number of students who will do their master's programme with us, and then they'll stay and undertake their PhD as well, which then further, of course, enhances their future employability, because most of our research areas are quite niche in terms of being innovative, and in areas where there will be a future demand. So we're very good at looking at sort of emerging areas that are going to be critical going forward.
Thank you so much for joining me today.